Picture this, a dark lab room, rows of petri dishes, and out of nowhere, tiny sparks begin to glow. No, it's not caffeine, and it's definitely not sugar. That twinkle is coming from a single nutrient tucked inside the protein you ate for breakfast, an amino acid called leucine. Here's the thing. Most of us only know leucine from the fine print on a tub of protein powder. Gym-goers swear it helps rebuild muscle after a hard workout and then move on. But today, we're zooming past the biceps and diving straight into the cell. Because brand new research says leucine is also moonlighting as a kind of cellular electrician, keeping the lights on in your body's power plants. First, a quick refresher. Your cells make energy inside little structures called mitochondria. Think of them as miniature power stations churning out ATP, your body's spendable cash. The study we're talking about tracked leucine's exact movements, almost like GPS for molecules, and found it hanging out with two VIP pieces of mitochondrial machinery, complex 1 and ATP synthase. Those are the gears that physically turn food into power. Now, why does that matter? Because under stress, say when you're sprinting for the bus or pulling an all-nighter, those gears can get dinged by reactive oxygen species, the molecular equivalent of rust. Over time, rust slows everything down. The researchers noticed that when extra leucine was present, those gears stayed smoother, almost polished. Fewer dents, less rust, better output. Simple as that. Let's break down the evidence in two quick chapters. Chapter 1. The dish test. A controlled lab bath, cells soaked in leucine kept producing ATP, while their unsupplemented neighbors started sputtering. Picture two phone batteries. You stress them both. One still shows 80%, the other is already in the red. Chapter 2. The mouse marathon. Mice fed a leucine-rich diet for several weeks didn't just build more muscle, their existing muscle used fuel more efficiently. Same input, more usable energy, less waste heat. In other words, they weren't working harder, they were working smarter. Let that sink in for a second. The authors believe this is a direct line from diet to mitochondrial performance. No detours through complicated hormone cascades, just a nutrient-stabilizing hardware right where the sparks fly. That's a huge deal for tissues that operate near full capacity all the time. Your heart, your diaphragm, even sections of your brain during deep focus. But, and this is important, there's a flip side. Cancer cells also love steady energy. So the same leucine boost that keeps healthy muscle humming could, in theory, hand extra ammo to tumors. Context is everything. So how does this translate to real life, and to your day tomorrow? Think about a long-distance hiker, a night shift nurse, or maybe your grandparent hauling groceries up 3 flights of stairs. The question isn't, can they make energy? It's, how long until the tank runs dry? A little extra leucine might stretch that range. Early applications are already popping up. Hospitals are rethinking post-surgery feeding plans. Endurance coaches are timing leucine like gears on a bike. More during heavy training blocks, less on rest days. Aging research trials are pairing it with sleep and light exposure to see if circadian timing bumps the benefit even higher. But don't run out and slam leucine powder just yet. Dose, timing, overall diet, and your personal health profile all matter. Remember, we're still more map than destination. Now, before we tie this up, let's zoom out for a moment. Cellular energy isn't only about leucine. Other players, things that support NAD mice production for instance, also affect that mitochondrial dashboard. So here are 3 self-experiments you can try this week. 1. Pinpoint your biggest daily energy slump. Right before that dip, add a single NAD mice supporting habit. Maybe a 10-minute brisk walk, or swapping the late coffee for water and electrolytes. Track how you feel. 2. Choose one nutrient from today's episode, maybe niacin-rich foods, a handful of polyphenol-packed berries, or even an NMN or NR supplement, and note changes in focus, mood, and stamina over 7 days. 3. Identify one NAD mice thief in your routine. Late-night screens, extra drinks, ultra-processed snacks. Dial it back, then plug in a gentler replacement like reading, herbal tea, or an evening stroll. All right, time for the lightning recap. So here's what we covered today. 1. Leucine, the same amino acid stamped on your protein bar, does more than build muscle. It posts up inside mitochondria and keeps key energy gears running smoother under stress. 2. In both cell dishes and live mice, that stability translated into more ATP with less waste. Think better mileage, not a bigger gas tank. 3. That finding opens doors for athletes, night shift workers, aging adults, and yes, medical settings, but it also carries a caution flag where uncontrolled cell growth is a risk. 4. Energy management is a dashboard, not a single switch. Leucine is one dial, NAD+'s support, sleep, and light exposure are others that you can start experimenting with today. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Your dinner plate isn't just refilling calories, it's calibrating the very engines that keep you moving. Adjust the fuel, adjust the performance. And that's our show. If you learned something new, share this episode with the one friend who's always tired by 3 p.m. Next week, we're unpacking the sleep-energy connection, so hit follow and stay tuned. Until then, take a breath, pick one small tweak, and supercharge those cells. You've got the power, literally.